Imagine this, you're terrified of falling asleep. You've been drinking coffee for 3 days straight because you know that the moment your eyes close, he is waiting. In 1984, Wes Craven didn't just give us a new slasher, he took away our only safe haven, our dreams. But behind the scenes, the real nightmare was the production itself. A studio on the brink of bankruptcy, a director rejected by everyone, and a young actor named Johnny Depp who had no idea he was about to become a star. Today we're going deep into the boiler room to uncover the secrets of A Nightmare on Elm Street. This isn't just a horror movie, it's the miracle that saved Hollywood's House of Horror. Most people think Freddy is just a cool design, but his origin is much darker. Wes Craven was reading the LA Times and found 3 independent articles about refugees from Southeast Asia. These young men were in perfect health, but they refused to sleep, telling their families that the nightmares were different this time. Eventually, they did fall asleep out of exhaustion, and they died mid-scream. Medical authorities called it sudden, unexplained nocturnal death syndrome. This real-life terror is what sparked the idea of a killer you can't run away from because he lives inside your head. But what about the name? Krueger was actually the name of a bully who tormented Craven in elementary school. And Freddy's look? Craven saw a disfigured homeless man when he was a kid who stared at him through a window, traumatizing him for years. Every element of Freddy comes from a real, grounded fear. Let's talk about that sweater. It's iconic now, but it was a calculated psychological attack. Craven read an article in Scientific American stating that the human eye has the most difficulty processing the specific wavelengths of red and green when they are placed side by side. By choosing those specific shades, Craven ensured that every time you look at Freddy, your brain is subtly working harder, making you feel nauseous and uneasy without even knowing why. And the glove? While Michael Myers used a kitchen knife and Jason used a machete, Craven wanted something animalistic. He was inspired by his cat's claws and the most ancient fear of humanity, being eaten by a predator. He built the first prototype using old steak knives and scrap metal for practically nothing. In 1984, there was no CGI. Everything you see was done with practical magic. Take the famous Tina on the ceiling scene. How did they do it? They built a massive rotating room. The entire set was a giant drum that could spin. The camera was bolted to the floor, and the actress was literally crawling on the floor while the room turned, making it look like she was being dragged up the walls. This same room was used for Glenn's death, Johnny Depp's character, and they had to pump 80 gallons of fake blood through the set while it was upside down. But they had a massive accident. The weight of the blood caused the room to tilt unexpectedly, and the blood hit the electrical wire. Sparks flew everywhere, and the crew almost got electrocuted. It was a literal bloodbath in every sense of the word. Speaking of Johnny Depp, he wasn't even supposed to be in the movie. He was just a musician who went to the audition to support his friend Jackie Earle Haley. Wes Craven's daughter saw Johnny sitting in the hallway and told her dad he's the one. He looks like a star. Craven listened, and the rest is history. But even with a future superstar, the movie almost didn't finish. New Line Cinema ran out of money halfway through. The crew went 2 weeks without pay. At one point, the film was literally saved by a small distribution deal in Europe that provided just enough cash to finish the editing. A Nightmare on Elm Street was a massive hit, making $25 million on a $1 million budget. It transformed New Line Cinema from a tiny indie distributor into a powerhouse that eventually gave us The Lord of the Rings. It proved that horror doesn't need to be logical to be terrifying. It just needs to touch that one place we all have to go every single night, the dream world. So, what's your favorite Freddy line? And more importantly, are you tired yet? Don't fall asleep. Like and subscribe if you want to keep exploring the history of horror. Sweet dreams.